Hi again, and welcome back. This is Prophet Evangelist Scott David Shute coming at you from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. I must be feeling a little bit better now because I'm starting to chuckle a little bit more this morning. I was just telling the story about how an angel saved my life in Hawaii not too long ago, and then I threw in a little bit about pulling Anthony LaVey out of the Church of Satan. And, well, that was a hoot, you know. And so I just want to make one more little program on that. I really never did anything about it. I just didn't feel like I should go after any accolades for pulling the little kid out of the Church of Satan. And by the way, he's been preaching the gospel for about 18 years now. He had the testimony up of how I took him out. It was been all over the internet, probably still is all over the internet. But it was really a hoot. Twice they caught him and cut him up with a cat of nine tails. It took, it was hard. It was really hard. It took a lot just to wipe the kid from neck to buttocks with the alcohol and that from the whipping that they had given him. And you know what? I don't exaggerate and I don't lie. And you know what? I'm not going to get into a big issue with anybody because there was just so many people came out and said he's not the son of Anton LaVey. You know, so many Christians knew so much. I don't know. What did they party with Anton? I mean, how do they know? You know, and then the Church of Satan came out and said, Anton LaVey doesn't have any sons. Yeah, well, what do you think the guy's going to say? He's a liar. But anyways, if he isn't the son of Anton LaVey, then this kid was pretty crazy to go out and get his back all whipped so that we could clean him up and a number of times. But that's been almost 20 years now, and he's got a ministry going, and he's still preaching the gospel, still telling people about the love of Jesus, and I just wish him all of the best. But I want to tell you a funny little part of the story because I rented a place for him in Marina del Rey, an apartment across the hall from where I was living. Had a beautiful place on the, right in the yacht harbor in Marina del Rey. The Lord gave me. And so I rented a place across the hall and just put him up, took him out, and that was that. And I had to take off to go to Brazil and put some programs on television down there. I had done some programs in Paul Crouch's, one of his studios in Phoenix, Arizona, with a young fellow by the name of Janetto Alencar, who has a very successful ministry in Brazil. Him and his brothers, the average church size I think is 5,000 or 10,000 people. But Janetto was opening up a television ministry and asked me to come on down. And so we went over to Phoenix and produced some programs on the Mark of the Beast. And I took him down to Brazil to put him on the air. But right at exactly that time when I was down in Irvine, California, I think I was going down visiting Crouch at TBN or some reason. That's probably why I was down there. But I ran into a young brother by the name of Ken Henderson who started Soldiers for Jesus. And the power team with John Jacobs, you remember the guys that could snap baseball bats over their knee and blow hot water bottles up until they would explode. And well, Ken looked like a California surfer, only he held the world record for triple break. He could break the biggest stacks of bricks with his head and his arms. He had just biceps like my waist. He's a very mild-mannered guy, He could put 3 handcuffs on behind his back and rip them apart. And kind of a good guy to have in a dark alley, as your friend. But just a real gentle man, just a really, really gentle man. I love him like crazy. So he had just gotten married, and he needed a place to stay. And so I hooked up with him. I didn't know him from butterscotch pudding, but I really liked the guy, and I said, "Hey Ken," I said, I gotta go to Brazil for a couple of weeks and go down and do some stuff, preaching the gospel down there. And I said, "Look, my apartment's going to be empty. It's a beautiful 2-bedroom right on the yachts in Marina del Rey, and you just got married. Why don't you just move in and take it while I'm gone?" And so he kind of flipped out and went, "Hey, I'm in, man. I'll take that. That'll work for me." So he started to make plans to come on over. I said, "Well, there's one little twist here, man. I might as well tell you about it." And he says, "Well, what is it?" I said, "Well, I got Anthony LaVey living across the hallway incognito." He said, "Who?" I said, "Anthony LaVey." He said, "Well, you imagine what he said." I said, "Yeah, the son of the head of the Church of Satan." just kind of keep an eye on him for me. Can you do that, Ken? It was kind of a joke because he didn't care. Ken it didn't ruffle him, man. He'd been down a lot of lonely alleys, man. He'd been in a lot of, Well, anyways, so. He gave him the keys, and I took off to Sao Paulo for Brazil for I don't know what it was, 10 days, something like that, and left him with Anthony. And by that time, the Church of Satan had actually found us because of their police contacts and their CIA and FBI contacts. There's a lot of Satanists that are in the police. It's really, that's what this New World Order is about. Lucifer, get it? They're going for it. They're dumb bunnies. They're doing the same thing that Lucifer said he's going to put his throne above God's throne. Not going to happen. But Lucifer talked a third of the angels into it, and he's talked a whole lot of the people down here into it in very strategic positions. They call it the Masons. All of those major organizations, from the Jehovah's Witnesses to Alcoholics Anonymous, are all started by these Luciferians. But anyways, let's get back to the story with Henderson. So I blast down to Brazil, and I'm doing some stuff down to Brazil, and almost got killed down there. I was a hoot, but came blasting back up to California, and came in and met up with Ken. And I said, "Well, Ken," I said, "how was it? Eventful or what?" And he said, "Well," he said, "they came in." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, they came in, man." He said, "One night," he said, "I heard the door open." And, and it was them, nobody else was going to do it. So I said, "Well, what'd you do?" He said, "Well, because Ken's a little radical, just a little radical, and I am too. But he had a Dan Wesson under the bed. I don't know if you know what a Dan Wesson is. You know what a Model 29 is? You ever see the movie Dirty Harry? Where Dirty Harry pulled out this 44 Magnum with a long barrel and said, "You're looking down the barrel of the most powerful handgun in the world. Do you feel lucky, punk?" Remember that part of that movie? Well, that was a Model 29 44 Magnum. Well, Dan Wesson is the same gun, but it's been worked. And it looks like a rocket launcher from hell is what it looks like after you put a red dot laser on top of it. And so I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, I just reached under the bed and grabbed his Dan Wesson." And you can imagine Ken just sleeping in a pair of skivvies. He's not the kind of the pajama kind of guy in Southern California. He's got a pair of skivvies on, and so he opens the bedroom door and looks down the hallway, and there's a handful of Satanists, just coming in to really roast me in a net. And Anthony, and I don't know what they had on their mind, but Ken just drew a bead on them. And I said, "Well, what happened?" He said, "Well, they looked down and saw the red laser on them, and they decided they were going to go Christmas caroling somewhere else that night. So they just beat it out the door. I couldn't even imagine what was on their mind when they thought they were going to see me, come out, or Annette come out. And here's Ken Anderson, look like, Goliath coming out the door, with a monster's handgun with a red laser pointing on their chest, and just absolutely scared the hell out of them. And it's come to think of it, I never thought of it until now. That was the last major confrontation. Well, one time they tried to kill me again. Yeah, just one time they tried to kill me. And Annette, no, it was twice more. Yeah, I forgot about that. they tried to kill me. But anyways, I won't go into those stories now. But, the bottom line is that Jesus got the keys. Jesus got the keys of death and hell. Somebody ought to write a song about that. Jesus got the keys of death and hell. Jesus got the keys. Jesus got the keys. Jesus got the keys of death and hell. You know what? Nobody can take your life. You got to live with no sin in your life, though. You got to be filled with the Holy Ghost. You can't get in and dabble in this stuff, man. You dabble in this, Satan's going to rip you a new one. But if you'll get in all the way with God, all the way with the Lord, filled with His Spirit, take any challenge that He throws your way, I guarantee you might not end up the end of your life with a lot of money, but you'll end up with a lot of stories. I could tell stories from now until Jesus returns. All true stories, and all really good ones, and exciting. And you know what? Nobody can give those to you. You've got to just step up to the plate and be willing to die for Jesus. In fact, I think that's something that I'm really encouraging everybody now to face, is to die now, to die. Just consider yourself dead. And once you consider yourself dead to Christ, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter. There's nothing they can bring at you, man. There's nothing they can bring at you if you're already dead. And we're supposed to be dead so that Christ can live within us. I pray this will bless you and minister to you, and you'll have your own stories. I'm not saying go down the same road I've gone down, but you'll have your own stories. You know, there was a story that came out of the Second World War where the Brits and some of the Canadian flyers, I imagine even some Yankees were in there too, flying with the Brits in the Battle of Britain against the Luftwaffe, and they were outnumbered, 7-1 in the air. And I was with some of these brothers that flew those sorties, and I remember one time one of them got asked, well, weren't you afraid? And they said, yeah, we were afraid. We just went anyway. That's what it's about, brothers and sisters. You just go because Jesus is worth it. And you know what? I believe you can still bring a tear to his eye by living a life that's outrageous for his glory. I pray this gets to you and you'll come back and visit with me. God bless you if you're walking with him.